How do hackers find vulnerabilities? Well, it largely depends. We have white box testing or black box testing. So if you're thinking about open source software, we'd use what's called static and dynamic analysis. So let's say, for example, you have a application that is widely used and it's on GitHub. So you can clone that GitHub repository so you have access to the code. You can look through that code, you can read it, you can understand it, you can reason about it, and then you can test it. So you can run that piece of code. You can do dynamic testing. That means actually, let's say it's a web application. You can open up a web browser, access that application, fuzz it with input, and then you can actually debug it. You can see what's happening in the code. What does the code do with that input? And then you can find vulnerabilities that way. Once you find that vulnerability, then you can look at, for example, production installations or production use of that piece of software. If you're an attacker, you can write exploits against that production piece of software that is using that open source GitHub software. Now there's the black box perspective. There's a lot of proprietary software out there where we don't have access to the source code. And what we can do in that situation is if we have access to that production piece of software, like let's say it's a web application, you can then look at that application from a dynamic perspective, meaning that you're going to the website and you're looking for user inputs. And there are other ways too. There are tools where you could basically send a bunch of requests to the website, determine what endpoints are on the website that may not necessarily be visible to the user. So this is sort of like recon or enumeration. And then from there are a number of tools, and there's this concept of fuzzing where we can send a number of different pieces of input that are slightly modified, and we can go through this huge list of inputs and see how the web application responds, and then we can go from there with our research.